So now today we'll start with the operation on sets. So we'll see what all different type of operations are there on sets. First we'll take as union of sets. Union of sets. Now union of sets means like suppose if we take two sets. Okay, like suppose if we take these two sets. These are the two sets which we have taken. So union of set, let's say set A and set B. So union of set means that the region set A and B, union of set A and B means the region that is there in set A and B, that the whole region is considered to be as the union of set. Like suppose if I say the union of set A and B, so union of set A and B is this whole region, which the shaded part which is there in set A and B, that whole region is considered to be as the union of set A and B. So union means the whole region which is there in A and B, that total region together will consider to be as the union of set. So it means we can denote, so we can represent this union by this U side. So we can write it like this. So that is A union B. So A union B can be X, where X belongs to A or X belongs to B. So all these values of X are considered to be as the union of A and B. So A and B, so union of A and B consider those elements X which elements are either in set A or in set B. So that whole region or whole number of elements are considered to be as the union of set A and B. So union of set A and B is the set of those elements. So union of set A is set of those elements which belong either to set A or to set B or both. It means all those elements which are either present in set A or either they are present in set B or they are present in both. So all those elements are considered to be as the union of set A and B. So like suppose if we take this set A, so this whole region is the set which set of elements which are there in set A, and this whole regions are the set which are there in the set B. So if I represent it by different color, that will be much better. So like this whole region. So this whole region which I am shading is the region which is there in the set B, and this region which I am shading is there in the set A. So this whole region is there in set A, and this blue line shaded region is there in set B. So combination of all these elements are considered to be as the union of set A and B. And apart from this, there is one region, like if we take this region, so this is the region which is common in both A and B. So elements are either present in this region, that is A, either in B or the common part of A and B. So it can be either only in this set region A, that is it should be either in this region, that is in this region, or there should be either in this region, or either they should be in the region which is common to both. So combination of all those elements are considered to be as the union of set A and B. This is what we mean by set, union of sets. So now we'll see the next operation of set, that is intersection of sets. So now what do you mean by intersection of sets? Intersection of sets means the region or the number of elements which are common in two or more sets. Like if you are talking about only two sets, let's say set A and B. If you are talking about only two sets, let's say set A and B. So like suppose if you take these two sets, set A and B. So the region which is common in both, that is this region. So this is the region which is common in both set A and B. So this common region is considered to be as the intersection of set A and B. So intersection of set A and B means the region or the number of elements which are common in both A and B, or which are present in both A and B. So it means the intersection of sets is set of all elements that belong to both A and are considered to be as the intersection of set A and B. So intersection of A and B is represented like this. It contains the element X, and this X belongs to A and X belongs to, it means the elements which are present in both A and B. So those common elements are considered to be as the intersection of two sets. This is what you mean by the intersection of sets. Like suppose if we take example on this, let's say if A is a set having elements, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and accordingly B is the set having elements 1, 3, 9 and 12. So it means the A and B, so A and B are the set that we have already defined. So A and B are the set that we have already defined. And if we talk about both the operations that we have studied, like if you talk about A union B, then in A union B will take all the elements of A and B. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 12. These are all the elements which are there in either A or in B. So we have taken all the elements of A and B, and there are some common elements like 1 is common, 3 is common. So these elements are common. So these elements we need to take only one time. We will not take the elements two times as they are present in both A and B. We will only take those elements one time. So we have taken all the elements which are common in A and B, and apart from this we have taken the elements which are either in A or. This is what we mean by A union B. And similarly, if we talk about A intersection B, then A intersection B, as we know, is the region or the elements which are common in both the sets. So as we have already seen, the common elements in both the sets are 1 and 3. So A intersection B will contain only two elements, that is 1 and 3. This is what we mean by A intersection B. So now we'll see the next operation on set, that is disjoint set. Disjoint sets. So what do you mean by disjoint sets? Disjoint set means that the two sets, if in a two sets there is no region which is common. Like suppose if we take these two sets A and B, so these two are the sets this does not have anything in common. So these two sets are said to be as a disjoint set. It means if two sets are said to be disjoint set if A intersection B is equal to 5. That is, there is nothing common in A and B. So if A intersection B is 5 or there is nothing common in A and B, then these two sets are said to be as the null set or the phi. So this is what we mean by disjoint set. Okay, so this is what we mean by disjoint set. Like suppose if you see any example, like if we take any set A which are having the elements, let's say 1, 2, 3, and if you take another set B which are having elements, let's say 4, 5 and 6, then these two sets are said to be disjoint sets as A intersection B is phi. That is, there is no elements which is common in both A and B. So it means 1, 2 and 3 are not there in B, and 4, 5, 6 are not there in A. So there is no element which is common in both A and B. So it means A intersection B is phi. As A intersection B is phi, so these two sets are said to be as the disjoint sets. So now we'll see the next operation on set, that is difference of sets. Now what do you mean by difference of sets is, in difference of sets, how we can define difference of sets is like suppose if we take two sets. Suppose if we take these two sets, again A and B. So the difference of sets, like suppose if we talk about difference of sets, or if we talk about, let's say, A minus B. A minus B is actually the difference of sets. So if we talk about A minus B, then A minus B is the region which is there in A but not in B. So that region is considered to be as the difference of sets. Like suppose if we take this set A, if you are talking about A minus B means, you can also remember it like this, like A minus B. A minus B means we are subtracting B from A. It means we are subtracting the region of B from the region of A. This is what we mean by difference of sets. Like suppose if we take the region of A, this. If you take, let's say, this is the region of A. I will represent the region of A. This is the region of A. Okay, so and as we know that in this region there is some region of B. So this common part is actually the region which is there in B. This common part is the region which is there in B. So it means if from the set A, if we remove this common part, then we will get A minus B. This is what we mean by the difference of set. That is the removing the part of B from the set A is what we mean by the difference of sets. So this is set A. So this whole region, as we have already defined, this whole region is set A. This whole region is set A. We have already defined this. and from this region of set A we are removing the region of B, and as we see, this common part is actually the region which is there in B also, because this common part is the region which is there in A and B both. So it means from the region of A we need to remove this region of B, so that so accordingly we will be able to define it as A minus B. So we will write this region, that is the region, this region, that is the remaining region. This remaining region that I am coloring by this green color. So this remaining region is considered to be as A minus B. This is what we mean by the difference of sets. It means removing the region of B from the region of A. This is what we mean by the difference of sets. So it means we can define this A minus B as A minus B equal, consider the element X, where X belongs to A and X does not belong to B. So that region is said to be as A minus B. So it means the region which is there in A and region which is not there in B is said to be as A minus B. Like this is the region, whole region in A, and we have removed this region of B. That is the region which is not there in B. So these are the reasons. So this green shaded region is the region which is only in A. This region is not in B. This green shaded region is only in A and this region is not in B. So this region which is considered to be as the A minus B, or the difference of sets. So this is what we mean by the difference of sets. And accordingly, similarly, if we need to find out B minus A, then again what we need to do, first we need to take these two sets A and B. So this set is A and this set is B. So now here it is B minus A. B minus A means removing the region of A from B. That is what we mean by B minus A. Like suppose if we do 3 minus 2, it is 1. But if we do 2 minus 3, then it is minus 1. So this is the difference. It means 3 minus 2 means subtracting 2 from 3. And 2 minus 3 means subtracting 3 from 2. So there is a difference between A minus B and B minus A. Like here there is a difference between 3 minus 2 and 2 minus 3. Similarly, there is a difference between A minus B and B minus A. So A minus B is actually the region or region of B that is removed from the region of A. That region is considered to be as A minus B. And here B minus A means removing the region of A from the region of B, or removing the part of A from the part of B, is said to be as the remaining region, which is said to be as B minus A. So it means we can understand by this figure that B, first we'll take this B. So B is this whole region. So this whole region is considered to be as B. This whole region is considered to be as B. And removing the region of A from this B. So this is the region which is there in both A and B. So removing this region from B, removing this region from B is the remaining region that we will get, that we will get, and that region is said to be as B minus A. So this region that I am shading by the pink line, this region is said to be as a region of B minus A, because this region contains only the part of B and it does not contain the part of A. So we can define this B minus A are the elements, and this elements X belongs to B and X does not belong to A. So this is what we mean by B minus A. So B minus A is equal to X, and X belongs to B and X does not belong to A. This is what we mean by B minus A. Okay, so this is what we mean by the difference of sets. So accordingly we can understand the difference of sets by in this way. So now we'll see one example based on this. So the example is, write down the example. The example is, let's take the set A, in which there are the elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And there is another set B which are having the elements 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13. Then now if we need to find out A minus B, then it means A minus B removing the elements or the region of B from A. So this is what we mean by A minus B. So it means if we need to write down A minus B, then it means we need to remove the region of B from A, or the common region of, or it means we need to remove the common region of A and B from A, because common region of A and B is the region which is either in A or in B or both. We can consider it as both. So region which is there in A and B are considered to be as the intersection of A and B, right? So region, like if we see this by this example that we have already seen, the previous example, that the region of region which is there in both A and B is considered to be as the intersection of A and B. So if we remove that intersection part from A, we will get A minus B, and if we remove this intersection part from B, we will get B minus A. Because removing the intersection part from A means removing the region of B from A, so accordingly we will get A minus B. And removing the intersection part from B means removing the region, removing the intersection part of intersection part of A and B from B means removing the region of A from B. Then we will get B minus A. So now if we talk about A minus B, then A minus B means A is the region which is having the elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are common elements. This 3 is common in both. This 5 is common in both. This 7 is common in both. And apart from this, there are no other elements which are common. So it means we need to remove these 3 elements which are common in both A and B. So we will get A minus B. It means if we do A minus B, we will get 2, 4 and 6. So A minus B is 2, 4 and 6. That is removing the common part of A and B. That is 3, 5 and 7 are the common part of A and B. Or we will first find out A intersection B. We can also do it like this. That we will first find out A intersection. So A intersection B is 3, 5 and 7. And removing this 3, 5 and 7 from A, we will get A minus B. So A minus B is from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have removed 3, 5 and 7. So we will get 2, 4 and 6. And B minus A means that removing this common part A intersection B, that is 3, 5 and 7 from B, then we will get B minus A. So if we remove this common part 3, 5 and 7 from B, we will get 9, 11 and 13. So this is what they mean by B minus A. So B minus A means removing the common part of A and B from B. We will get B minus A. And A minus B means removing the common part of A and B from A to get A minus B. This is what we mean by the difference of sets.